Hey guys, what's going on? Tyraku here. Now, if you watched the most recent video I did on this free-to-play account, you will have remembered, and I mean, it's pretty hard to forget, that I actually pulled basically the best legendary rare champion in the game. It's actually a champion who I spent about a year looking for on my first account ever and never got her. She eluded me, got literally every other void rare champion, just could never open her up. So when I finally got her on this account, which was finally, I mean, level 44, we're on day 48. So I don't really know what finally means because that's actually really fast. That champion is, just to go ahead and show you, is Coldheart. But what I want to talk about in this video, and I've seen this actually several times in the community, so everybody knows that Coldheart, well, hopefully most people know that Coldheart is an absolutely amazing champion. The thing is, though, is that first off, if you have Coldheart, don't feed her. I've seen some people come in the Discord and say they fed Coldheart, got rid of her, or I'll go look in their index on like an account review or something and be like, oh, do you have a Coldheart? And they say, no, I don't have one, never got her. I'll go in here and look, and the Coldheart's right here, colored in, which means they have opened her in the past, they just got rid of her. So that's always super upsetting, super depressing for me to see that somebody got rid of such an amazing, game-changing champion. I actually had the exact same thing happen to me with Painkeeper, which is, devastating. And I actually fed a Blood Gorged. So I guess actually go ahead and leave in the comment section. Have you ever fed anybody that you regret very quickly after, well, not even very quickly, but later on down the road you realize, oh crap, I really needed that champion. But assuming you haven't gotten rid of your Coldheart, and I really hope you haven't, what I want to go over today, guys, is not like where Coldheart's going to be good as much. Like, I want to focus less on that. I want to more so focus on why I'm not necessarily going to take her to 6-star just yet. I just now went over why she's such an, how she's such an amazing champion. I'll look at her abilities real quick and I'll kind of break down why she's an amazing champion. So her A1 attacks 4 times at random, which this is especially good on the Fire Knight because you need a good multi-hitter, plus the heal reduction is massive. The multi-hit plus the heal reduction makes her literally one of the best Fire Knight champions in the game. Breaking the shield is tremendous. Her ability 2, attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy, which is just a nice debuff to have. Nothing crazy, but it is pretty solid. I mean, it only has a 30% chance to place, 35 when invoked, so nothing crazy. And then places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns if the target is under a heal reduction debuff. So that works out very well. Poison's very good against the dragon. Not very many books to get her fully booked out either. Her ability 3, this is where she really shines. Attacks one enemy, decreases the turn meter by 100%, has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Damage increases according to enemy max HP, and this is why most people want to use her, is because she does so much damage to the bosses, but not necessarily the low level bosses, okay? So the damage increases according to enemy max HP, which means if you're going through the dungeons and you take Coldheart to Dragon Stage 1 and she hits the dragon with her Heartseeker, it's not going to do an insane amount of damage. You're not going to get that 1.7 million damage or almost 2 million damage that you're going to get if you go down to Dragon Stage 20. The dragon has a ton more HP, so she's going to do a lot more damage. And this is what I really want to touch on. There's a few reasons why I'm not going to take Coldheart to level 60 just yet, and if you're very early in the game, why you shouldn't either. Now, this account is to the point where it almost makes sense to take Coldheart to level 60, but there's a few things that she kind of lacks and that she doesn't really bring to the table where I'm at right now. So first off, she lacks survivability. Like, look at this HP, 5100. Her HP is fairly low. I mean, look at Kale, obviously he's level 60. So let's go in here and look at her when she is level 60. Just take a look to see where she's at. HP 13,000, defense 738, and then compared to somebody like Kale, 13,000, 914. So Kale's a little bit higher, but either way, Coldheart is a champion you wouldn't wear in lifesteal gear necessarily. You just mostly want to gear her out for accuracy and big damage and make sure she's fast enough to make sense. But the reason why I would not take her to level 60 just yet on my account is because even on my max level account that I play a lot of times on stream, which is twitch.tv/Tyraku, every day except for Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern time. So go over there and give that a follow. It's down in the description below or the top comment. But on that account, keeping a Coldheart alive is kind of difficult. So until I get a support champion, which is what I'm going to work on next, or a decrease attack champion. So until I get a support champion who can have some good heals, a good res, or somebody who can do decrease attack, or somebody who I can bring in to like keep the threat off of Coldheart, because most likely Coldheart's going to have the lowest HP on the team, which is going to increase the chances of her actually getting targeted. And I don't want her to get targeted, because if she dies, well, obviously she can't do anything at all if she dies. So that's why I'm not going to be bringing her to level 60 just yet. My 260s right now are both damage dealing champions already. My next level 60 is probably going to be somebody like Apothecary, possibly Grinner, but I really want somebody who can like help my team survive. Whereas if I already had, let's say I already had 4 level 60s, okay? I had 2 damage dealers, I had a support champion, and then let's say I decided to take Infernal Baroness. I think she does a decreased attack, yeah. Yeah, I decided to take Infernal Baroness up to level 60 as well. Well then boom, Coldheart slots in perfectly. We have the decreased defense from War Maiden, which helps Coldheart do so much more damage. We have the decreased attack from Infernal Baroness, which helps keep Coldheart alive if she does get hit. Also, she places a perfect veil, which will help Coldheart be hidden from the enemy so she doesn't get hit. And then we have Apothecary with a speed boost, which is nice. And then he has a heal, which is an added benefit. Let me go ahead and upgrade that skill. I just now realized it's not fully booked out. So when it comes to getting Coldheart to level 60, I don't recommend anybody, honestly, take her to level 60 as one of your first few level 60s. Besides the fact of her not being able to survive very well, she can be used on these early stages of dungeons. Like, of course, her A1 ability is still fantastic on Fire Knight. Her turn meter reduction still perfect on the spiders. Turn meter reduction great on Ice Golem. Turn meter reduction doesn't affect the dragon. Her poisons do help, but her heal reduction doesn't really do anything. So overall, right now where she's at, she doesn't really bring enough to the table for me to be like, hey, I definitely have to get her to level 60 right now. It's just gonna help my account so much. She's more of a champion who greatly helps you progress in the dungeons. Once you're starting to reach like stage, say 13, 14, somewhere around there, especially on spiders. Spider stage about 13 or so is when it really makes a transition. Instead of like just nuking down the waves and doing a bunch of AoE damage to all the spiderlings, you actually switch from killing the spiderlings to focusing on killing the spider, whether it's HP burn, big single target damage like Coldheart. About around stage 13 or 14, I believe, is when that switch happens. It may be a little bit later, but once we start getting to these stages on this free-to-play account, I'll definitely be working on getting Coldheart to 6-star. But like I said, right now, I think my next focus is going to be either Apothecary or possibly Infernal Baroness. Either one of these 2 champions I think are going to be very good. May even bring in a res champion, just depends on how everything works out. If I had a champion who like did speed boost plus a res, like I don't know, a Siphi, I might bring a Siphi obviously to level 60, but we have no legendaries on this free-to-play account. So this video is going to be kind of short today. I literally just want to tell you guys why I'm not going to bring Coldheart to 6-star yet. Like I said, I've seen several people say, hey, I'm going to 6-star my Coldheart, and she'll be the first 6-star. She just doesn't bring any like early game big progression stuff, in my opinion. Maybe if you've taken Coldheart to level 60 very early in the game, maybe you see differently than I do. Let me know down in the comment section below. Would you take Coldheart to level 60 early on, or do you kind of agree with me and think that she's a champion who's better to add later on as a level 60 versus early on when she's fairly squishy, can die pretty easy, and honestly just doesn't bring the damage that she does at max level? Trust me, I'm all for Coldheart. I absolutely love Coldhearts. I use 2 of them on main account for spiders in literally every single dungeon, but I just don't see any reason to bring her to 60 yet. I will be getting there though. But thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that sheds a little bit of light on Coldheart and maybe how you should deal with her. There definitely will be a guide for free-to-play coming out fairly soon, whenever I get her to level 60, about her masteries and everything, because like I said, definitely going to be using Coldheart on this account, just not yet. So thank you again for watching the video. I'll catch you all in the next one.